Here's the second video about the new Jaguar X-Type. I'm currently suffering from my second bout of COVID, so whilst I'm keeping away from everyone else, I've got 3 more days of isolation to go, and so I thought I would spend the time taking my X-Type apart, as any sane person would do. So first job was to remove the snooper device that was previously attached to the dashboard and remove the wiring that goes with it. To do that, I had to take the infotainment system out, so I'll give you a quick rundown on how to do that, just in case you don't know and need to know. First job with it in place is to gently pry out the little fascia trim that goes around the hazard light switch and the seat heaters, if you've got those. That reveals 2 8mm bolts, which you just undo with a socket. Next, gently pry up the surround for the gear lever. You can see that's just on plastic and sort of metal clips. That just comes up and comes away. Next job is these 2 crosshead screws which hold the ashtray in. Once you've undone those, you can pull it forward and disconnect the wiring from the cigarette lighter. There's there for illumination and power. Once that is out, it reveals this panel which sits over that way. Yeah, sits that way over the Torx T30 screws that you can see there. So just pull this panel off, 2 T30s come out, and then you can pull this unit forward, and it has a lot of multi-connectors at the back of it. Let me show you what's happened to mine. I've written my radio code on top of the radio. I don't think there's anyone now going around stealing radios out of X-Types, so that's there for a subsequent owner if they should lose the paperwork. At least they've now got the code in the back of their radio. I'm not sure what these connectors were at the back of the radio. I've yet to read up about it, or the back of the sat-nav unit. They correspond to these 4 connectors, which I've numbered up. I'm not sure if the order is critical, but if it is, they're now correctly numbered. And then you've got various other connectors which came out the back. That's the optical connector, which I had to look at because I wondered if that was why my CD changer wasn't working. But that appeared to be fine. And then you've got here, I think, power to the stereo and power to the sat-nav unit on top. So that was actually pretty straightforward. So all I needed was 8mm socket, T30 and crosshead screwdriver. And I managed to pull all the wiring out. Let me take you around to the other side and I'll show you what happened there. Obviously the battery is removed as well whilst I do this. So I've also had occasion to take the glove box out, which was pretty straightforward. You've got screws behind little rubber grommets. They are quite a small Torx actually. What is that? T20. So 2 T20s at the top there. These plastic trim clips along the bottom section down here. And then 2 screws at the back of the glove box as well, and once those were out it just pulled forwards to reveal the wiring under here. And I had to pull the GPS receiver through from on top of the dash through. It was through here, routed into the back of the radio there, so that's good. I also found this, which I was surprised about. This is the control unit and switch box for the roof-mounted DVD player, which doesn't work at the moment. But that has been spliced into the power for the radio. I unwrapped the connectors just to see if they are properly soldered in, which they were, thankfully. So I'll rewrap those with electrical tape and make sure they're safe before I turn anything back on again. And there's an inline fuse there, which I've found to be fine. So that doesn't explain why the DVD player doesn't work at the moment. The other thing which I read online to check is this connector here. That one there, which is optical cables which are coming from the rear of the car and come round and go into the back of the stereo. They appear to be intact, alas. So they don't explain why my CD changer and telephone don't work. So we'll continue with that line of inquiry there. This big old thick cable here routes all the way up underneath the dash and then on the A post, all the way up on through under the headlining, or above the headlining, sorry, and it goes to the DVD player. So I'll hopefully not need to disturb that when I check out what's happening there. And that's as far as I've got. So it's now a case of putting this all back together again. I've taken the wiring I wanted to get out of the car, put it back together again, see if anything's changed in terms of anything else now work. Now I've broken and remade a few connections, and we'll see what happens. I'll report back.